Today we are talking about the most intense rides in Disney World, so that way you know just how intense they really are. From gravity-defying roller coasters to free-falling elevators, we are talking spins, wild rides, intense times, even some crazy twists and turns. So whether you are a thrill junkie or you're trying to figure out what you're getting yourself into, it's time to buckle up. We are hitting up every single park to let you know which rides will have your heart racing and your hair flying. Get ready for the time of your life here at Magic Kingdom. Over on Tron Light Cycle Run, you're actually going to head into the grid, riding head first on your very own light cycle. With sudden turns, speeds, drops, and an incredible launch and a super unique ride vehicle, Tron is all about adrenaline and style. This is easily the most intense roller coaster in Magic Kingdom. Sorry to the Seven Dwarfs and Snow White, but there is no questions hand down that this one is pretty intense. This coaster actually features a launch that is going to take you from 0 to 59 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds and is easily my favorite part of the attraction. This also makes it one of the fastest attractions in Disney World by far. It's so much fun. I absolutely love it. When it comes to thrills, I would give it maybe a 3 out of 5. It's not going to be the most thrilling, which I'm going to give to Coaster and Hollywood Studios, spoiler, but it's definitely exciting and definitely the most thrilling over in Magic Kingdom.
It starts like a scenic journey through the Himalayas until you realize something is terribly wrong. This intense coaster sends you speeding through the Forbidden Mountain while trying to escape the legendary Yeti. Expedition Everest is a thrilling roller coaster that hits speeds up to 50 miles per hour, includes a dramatic 80-foot drop, and features a backward section through complete darkness. Standing at nearly 200 feet tall, it is the tallest coaster at Walt Disney World. And the massive Yeti animatronic inside, it was once the most advanced figure Disney had ever built. Even in B mode, it still leaves an impression. Disco Yeti, we love you. Expedition Everest is truly one of the star attractions here at Animal Kingdom. It's incredibly rich in story and culture, and once again, the Yeti animatronic is incredible. It is a beast in the best of ways. Now, when it comes to the intensity level, I will say that despite it being a thrilling coaster, I don't think it's one of the most intense rides. I think it's definitely doable for folks who are even just a little bit anxious when it comes to roller coaster, like me. I am that girl. Roller coasters scare me, but this is a ride that I find myself riding whenever I can. Sometimes I do get nervous, mostly when I'm alone, but especially when I'm with friends, I'm riding it all the time. I've actually ridden it like 3 times in a row once at nighttime because there was no line, and it was awesome. So not kiddos' first coaster. I don't think I'd recommend Expedition Everest, but definitely if they're graduating from the Barnstormer or Slinky Dog Dash, I'd say this is a great next level coaster to take on. There isn't any really deep drops that feel too intense or scary. I'd say the one portion of the track that really gets me is when you're going backwards. I can feel that part in the pit of my stomach. However, I realized a fun little hack. If you sit at the very back of the train vehicle, you don't feel that back portion as much because since you're going backwards, that's the first cart that's being sent back. So you don't feel that pull that the front would feel or all of the other vehicles. So I definitely recommend that if you're a little bit nervous about that. I think the darkness is what makes it feel a little bit scarier, but it's a really fun coaster and I think it's definitely doable for even those who are just a little bit nervous about taking it on. It is awesome. You're gonna have a great time, and I think it's my favorite roller coaster in all of Walt Disney World because of the story and because how fun that track is. Now for rating attractions today, we're actually gonna go on a scale of chicken tenders. The reason why is because when you are in line for an attraction and you realize last minute, I don't really wanna do it, you can take what's called the chicken exit. Chicken exit can have some negative connotations, so I have changed it to the chicken tender exit because chicken tenders are delicious. For a total of chicken tenders, I'm gonna give it 3 because it is thrilling, but I do feel like it is totally doable. Now, I can't compare it to something like Teacups or even Big Thunder. Big Thunder is way more mild compared to this one, but it is a solid 3 because it does have that backwards feature. It does go pretty fast, but I just think that it's not the most intense ride on property, and it can be done by even those who are just a little bit nervous of taking it on. I think it's a great time, and that Yeti, man, he's just worth it. I'd do anything to see that Yeti animatronic. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is not just a roller coaster, it's an intergalactic chase through space and time. This coaster starts with a reverse launch and sends you spinning through the cosmos on one of the longest indoor coasters ever built. With speeds hitting around 60 miles per hour and a revolutionary omni-coaster system that rotates your ride vehicle to face the action, every twist and drop feels like you're inside a Marvel movie. And with multiple randomized 80 songs playing during each ride, you never know which hit will soundtrack your thrilling adventure. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is a must for Marvel fans, specifically those of Guardians of the Galaxy. You get to see all your favorite characters like Star-Lord, Gamora, Rocket, and they are on a mission to save the universe, okay? It is thrilling, it is adventurous, it is fun, and it is pretty intense in my opinion. Now, though this coaster does not have any steep drops or any inversions or corkscrews of any kind, the speed of this one is, you feel it, let me tell you. That backwards launch is no joke. I feel it all the time. Now, it is quite fun, especially because that's when you get to hear the first opening notes of what song you get, and it's exciting to await what song is gonna be the soundtrack to your ride. But I feel it all the time. I'm like clutching the little safety bars and just very, very anxious about it. However, it is a fun time. Throughout the rest of the coaster, your vehicle turns around so that you can face the action. Now, the one thing about this ride that has me debating its intensity is the fact that it does cause a bit of motion sickness. Some guests riding it have experienced it. So if you are sensitive to that, that's something to keep in mind before riding. Spinning, crazy motion, and screens, that could be a little bit of a disaster depending on how you feel about that. However, I am going to give Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind a solid 4 chicken tenders. Just because even though there is none of that super extra intense features that other roller coasters have, like drops and inversions and such, it's pretty fast. That backwards launch is no joke, and again, motion sickness can get to you. Another pro tip, I love to ask for the middle carts. There's 2 carts kind of in the middle. I feel like when it comes to the backwards launch and every other part of the ride, it feels less intense in that one. You still feel it, but it's a little less than being at the front or the back. Another tip is to sit on the left side of the vehicle, so the left seat. Most of the turns go towards the left on the inside, so that helps feel the G-forces less, which could help make your experience just a little bit tamer.
Strap in for a wild ride through the streets of LA because you have a concert and you've got a stretch limo, and this is not a concert you're gonna be late for. Rock and Roller Coaster is gonna launch you from 0 to 57 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds. You're gonna go straight into 3 major inversions throughout this big thrill attraction, and it's super popular for a reason. The entire ride, corkscrews, inversions, music and all, is all in the dark that adds to this incredible thrill ride themed to Aerosmith. You'll zoom past iconic Hollywood signs and landmarks throughout this attraction, but don't worry, it's only a few minutes long and not too overwhelming. It's loud, thrilling, and easily the most thrilling ride in Disney World in my opinion, as it's the only one that goes upside down. When it comes to thrills in Disney World, I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5 because there's nothing more thrilling and frankly more daring than this one. Not even Guardians of the Galaxy. Next up, you're gonna step into this haunted hotel where something super eerie lurks behind these unassuming elevator doors. The Tower of Terror here behind me is an elevator-style drop ride that takes you into the Twilight Zone. It has randomized sudden drops inside these eerie elevator shafts, making every single time on this really famous attraction a little bit different than the last. You will actually rise 130 feet into the air on this really amazing drop ride, and you're going to drop at various different speeds. And a fun little behind the scenes, you're not actually free falling, they are pulling you down to make it go even faster than a real life free fall would. It's spooky, thrilling, and totally unpredictable every single time you ride it.
Oh! It dropped first.
Frankly, until I started working at AllEars, I hated this ride and I was petrified of it. It did not matter how many times I did it, I was so scared. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. You're at least not going upside down, but it is ooky spooky and so scary to me. Now I love it, but it was like exposure therapy, almost.
Okay, if you guys liked this video and you learned even more about thrills, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, and you can check out what we post every single day. We post 7 days a week, and go ahead and comment this secret code down below. Also, the glare. We hope you liked this video.
Hope you guys had fun.